Namaste to all. Today also we are going to see another interesting topic. As I tell in all the videos, whatever knowledge I have gained in my life is only due to my Guruji, Swami Ram Surabji Yogacharya. He is a philosopher of Vedas, Ashtanga Yogi and a living legend. As you can see, the topic is about the initial state of universe. Understanding the initial state of universe is also a great knowledge, and the initial state of universe the modern science of today is not aware of, because the modern science is based on Big Bang theory, and I have already made another video regarding Big Bang theory, but this is again some more explanation or let's say differences between these two theories. Before going into the topic, we have to why we should understand the initial state of universe. For example, somebody asks you that you are living in a house. Okay, what was there before you constructed the house? You bought an apartment or you are building a house. Somebody asks you what was there before this. You would say that there was another house before this, there was a apartment before there was a forest, there was some trees there was some farming land there, something you would say. It's and you know that initially there was no water there was no let's say a water bed there. If there was a water bed there, you will not build your house there, because you know that it will be weak soil, etc. So it is very important for us also to understand the initial state of universe, because we are living in this universe, and knowingly unknowingly our body is also made up of the 5 basic elements as the universe is made up of, and we have to understand what was the initial state of universe. Thereby we will be able to understand the existence of God. This is the main reason why we have to understand the initial state of universe. There was some discussion between me and some people, let's say scientists, modern scientists. Some questions I had put forward to them regarding Big Bang, I would like to share with you and their answers. What was there before Big Bang? That was the question. The answer was, this question is not valid, because there was no time. The time itself was not present before Big Bang, so you cannot ask what was before. Okay. Then I asked, there is a cosmic egg. You say there is a cosmic egg, there was infinite energy and mass, and from that Big Bang happened. I asked, where was this cosmic egg present? Then the answer was, the cosmic egg was present. This question is also not valid, because there was no space at all. There was no time, there was no space. So cosmic egg was not present in any space. That was the answer. Okay. Then I asked, why did the Big Bang happen? What is the reason the Big Bang happened? So the gentleman said, the exact reason is not known, but the guess from us is, it's because of the interaction, or let's say a fight between the dark energy and the energy present inside the cosmic egg. This was the reason the singularity was disturbed and the Big Bang happened. Okay, then the question I asked was, where was the dark energy present? Was it outside the cosmic egg, or was it inside the cosmic egg? Because I asked, if it was outside the cosmic egg, it was not possible, because you said there is no space. If there is no space, where did the cosmic energy reside? If it is inside the cosmic egg, then again, why did the Big Bang happen? Because it was already inside. Or first of all, the cosmic egg would have not got formed. Then the scientists said that we are doing several experiments across the in America, in Europe, in many laboratories. We have created many equipment to understand this Big Bang theory and the particles and their behavior and the various forces, etc. And the full answer is not yet known, but we are developing a model to explain all the questions. That was the answer. Okay, now we have to go. I will take another 2-3 minutes to explain. It's a small video, but now I will explain what Veda says, which I have already told by with the help of the Ved mantras, Rig Veda 10 by 129th Sukta. But then little technically to explain, Rig Veda says that there was infinite darkness. The darkness which a human being cannot even imagine, that was the darkness that was present at that point of time. That means there was absolutely no light. That means there is no light means there was no energy. There was no energy means there was no movement. There was no movement means the temperature was 0 Kelvin or zero, absolute zero. I say 0 Kelvin. It is not mentioned as 0 Kelvin, but it is absolute zero, Shital, full coolness. But whereas Big Bang theory, they say the cosmic egg was having infinite energy. The temperature was billions of trillions degree Kelvin or degree centigrade, doesn't matter. Whereas Vedas says, Rig Veda says it was absolute zero, cooling and no movement and no mass. There the Big Bang theory says infinite mass and infinite energy. And what did they say? The cosmic egg radius is zero. That means infinite energy at zero volume. Later on, I think some scientists corrected, it's not zero volume, it's, let's say, Planck volume. Planck volume is 10 to the power of minus 32 or minus 42 meter. That was the volume. But anyways, can infinite energy and mass rest in such a small place? This is a imagination. Virtual theory, imaginative theory. But here Veda says the volume is not zero volume. Veda says the volume was infinite volume. Vacuum space, not vacuum, the space was infinite, and everywhere one matter was present. That matter is called Prakriti by Vedas, and this Prakriti was in Samya Avastha. Samya Avastha means this Prakriti is unable to do any action of creation of this universe. It is in its Mool Swarup, it is in its original Swarup, original form. It is not able to move. It is in its original form at 0 Kelvin. And the matter, that means the matter was in fundamental state, the fundamental state which is not yet known to the modern science. And Big Bang theory says that time was not, the time count started after the Big Bang. That means even Big Bang theory has a guesswork that immediately after the Big Bang, that means 10 to the power of minus 30 seconds or minus 25 seconds, whatever it is. 10 to the power of minus 25 seconds. Can you imagine? They say that this was the temperature. At 3 seconds, this was the temperature. After 300,000 years, this was the temperature. There is a lot of guesswork in this Big Bang theory. Whereas Veda says absolute no movement, 0 Kelvin. So it was in primordial state. The material cause of universe was not able to do any action. So the universe creation happened at a stipulated time. That means, you please understand here, time was present, but the time was in Avyakt Roop. Veda says Avyakt time was present, but that time was not able to do any inspiring actions to Prakriti to do a creation further. So at a stipulated time, God's power act automatically on this Prakriti and this universe creation happens. And God creates. God is the Chetan Shakti. God is the alive power. As I told you in previous video, we need a alive power. For example, we have cement, we have iron, we have bricks, we have everything. But we don't have laborers to build a house. The house will not be built up by its own. We need an alive power to build a house. We need an alive power to do any action in this universe. Nothing will happen automatically. So at a stipulated time, Rigveda says God's power acts on his Prakriti and this universe creation happens. Why this universe creation happens? What is the purpose of this universe? What is the purpose of this human body? This is the subject of spirituality. This is a subject of not science, the modern science, but it's a subject of Vedic science and Vedic spirituality. Why we have taken this human body? What is the reason Vedic knowledge is being given by God? Because without Vedic knowledge, we cannot serve. Whatever we have today in this world, we are using electricity, we are using automobile technology, we are having all the technologies today. The fundamental knowledge is given in Vedas by God himself. So this is how the difference between the initial state of universe as explained by God himself, because God was present at that initial state of universe. He explained this knowledge in Vedas, and it's God's own knowledge. No one was present in the Big Bang time. There is a guesswork, virtual work happened by scientists, and billions of US dollars, billions of euros have been spent even today to create a simulation of equivalent to Big Bang, to prove that okay, there is a Higgs boson, we have found a Higgs particle, Higgs field. Higgs field is responsible to create mass from the basic of the matter. Without Higgs field, and we have proved by this experiment that Higgs field is present. Whereas Vedas says another thing. Vedas doesn't speak about Higgs field. Maybe Peter Higgs, that is the scientist who suggested there could be a field called Higgs field. This subject is very vast, but each and everything where from, you see, today in modern science, if you ask any scientist or any person who has studied physics or doing research activity, please ask him what is force, what is the definition of force, where from the force originates, where from the movement happens, how the movement happens, where from the electric charge. For example, we say electron, proton, neutron, positron, neutrino, where from the charge, plus charge, minus charge, where from the charge is coming? No idea. Physics cannot describe. Go to YouTube, search. Go to YouTube, go to Google, search how the plus and minus charge comes into electron or proton, positron, whatever it is. You will not be able to find, because no one knows where this charge comes from, how this charge comes from. But we all know that without this charge, a charge cannot be separated from the elementary particle. You have to, wherever there is the elementary particle, charge is already present. Charge cannot be separated out of it, because without charge there is no meaning. So that means there is a very big brain work behind, and this work is none other than God himself. So this also proves that the power of God. Physics, I asked another question, that do you believe in existence of God? The answer from that gentleman was, we have not got a scientific evidence or a laboratory evidence to prove the existence of God, so we don't believe in God. We have to understand that everything cannot be proved in laboratories. There are some certain things, not certain, there are so many things in this universe which cannot be proved in laboratory. The love between a mother and a son, can it be proved in a laboratory? So there are so many things which cannot be proved in laboratory, which cannot be seen by direct cognition. That's why Patanjali Munivar also says in Patanjali Yoga Sutra, Anuman Praman, we need to have a guess, and by the guess, by seeing the sun above, the sun is rotating, the sun is moving in the sky alone without a support, and it is rotating it's a massive object, and the earth is rotating, it's a massive object. There is no stick below this to hold it. It's rotating in the space. By seeing this, we have to understand that this creation cannot happen without a creator, and that creator is Almighty God. So I just made this video because you should not, or people should not think that Vedas does not have science. Vedas have all the science of this universe, and all the science which have logics in this is only in Vedas. The modern science in this, let's say astronomy or cosmology or universe creation does not have, or let's say minimum 3000 to 5000 years behind Vedic knowledge. Unless we get into these roots of Vedic knowledge, we will not be able to find out nuclear weapons which were present in Mahabharata time. We will not be able to find out or discover or make aeroplanes which was present in Ramayana times. Ramayana and Mahabharata were not stories, they were real happenings which Rishi Munis wrote and went. And the description of Vimana Shastra or the aeroplane technology, etc., described in there is not available today, because the science that time was so advanced based on Vedas. Today science is advanced, but it's also creating many problems, and we are living in a real world with virtual theories, which imaginative theories. So we have to understand and come back to revert back to Vedas. Please follow my YouTube channel. If you like this video, please forward to your friends and relatives. Ask them to subscribe. And next video will also be more interesting. I will try to focus more on Vedic knowledge. I will not go into science. That is not my cup of tea, but I just wanted to make this video to be aware, to make you aware that what is available in Vedas. Thank you so much. Namaste. Om.